Welcome to No Sweat Gourmet Meals. I'm your host, Brandon Claybrooks. Today we'll be cooking chicken Alfredo with steamed broccoli, and we also have some sauteed mushrooms. Let's get started. So here I have a chicken breast. Whenever we're working with raw meat, I like to always wash it off. If it comes from the store, you can't guarantee how clean it is. So pick a good brand. I'm going to go ahead and wash this off. Just a quick rinse. Bring this back over to my cutting board. As I stated at the beginning, you were using 2 chicken breasts. Well, this is a huge mammoth chicken breast. So we're just going to use one. I'm going to simply cut it in half, and I'll show you exactly how I'm going to do that. I always cut my meat at a bias normally, so I'm going to go in at an angle such as this and just slice through it. I'm using a customary chef's knife. So just slice right through it. Now, to season the chicken, I always put slits in my chicken. You want to clean it up a little bit too. It got some extra pieces that you probably aren't going to want to eat. They have some fat on it that you don't really need. So you got a decent sized chicken breast here. Just going to make one incision, being careful not to cut through it. That's my second incision. You can do 3 or 4. I'm just going to do 3 on this one, so you see I got some good incisions here. Also, I'm going to go through this one, the same situation, cutting through it 3 times. And the reason why I do that is because when I season it, I want my seasoning to seep into the chicken. So first we're going to go with, I do everything, well, we're going to start with the garlic first. On each breast, we want to use at least a teaspoon. So we spread that on there. And you don't want to cross-contaminate, so when you get through, what I have my garlic in, I'm going to discard that. I don't want to use that garlic for anything else that I've used. And you can use fresh garlic. I cheated a little bit. I got minced garlic from the store. I didn't feel like chopping any, but I can chop it myself. So we want to get all that good flavorful garlic out, spread that on the chicken. If you can see here, the chicken is completely covered in garlic. So we want to use, I'm using 2 base Italian seasoning. I have oregano here. We're going to use a pinch of that. So just get that oregano on there. Oregano on the other piece as well. And then we want to get some dry basil. You can also get basil and oregano from the store fresh, which if you get fresh stuff, it's usually going to taste better, at least in my opinion. I cheated on this as well. I've got the dry ingredients here. It's just that much quicker. It's cheaper too. So once we do that, and we want to do our our seasoning like salt and pepper as well. So I'm going to take some salt, pinch of the salt as well, throw that on there. You don't want to overdo it with the salt and the pepper. So a little bit of pepper here, pepper on both pieces of chicken. And then we're just going to get us a oven safe pan. Here we go. Throw the chicken in there. We got 2 pieces of chicken. My oven's already preheated to 350, so I'm just going to drop that in. Whenever you're cooking chicken, you can temp it out. Chicken needs to at least get to 165. And now that we got the chicken in the oven, we can go ahead and start on our Alfredo sauce. We're going to make it from scratch, none of that packaged garbage. We're actually going to make it from scratch. So here we go. I'm going to show you step by step how it works. We got our cream here. 2 cups of heavy cream, not regular milk, you need heavy cream. And when you pour it in your saucepan, you just want to make sure that you're at a medium temperature or low. It's probably better to just fix it on low, just because what you'll find out is I'm using Parmesan cheese. We're going to use 2 cups of Parmesan cheese. You can do 1 to 2 cups. I'm going to do 2 cups. It just enhance the flavor. But as I was stating before, the Parmesan cheese is dense, so it's going to sink to the bottom of the pan. Now the problem there is you don't want this cheese to burn onto the bottom. That will leave a nasty taste and won't be good Alfredo. People won't come over your house and eat anymore. So we'll pour that right in there. So that's a lot of cheese. Now what we need is a whisk. So the cheese is gonna, there's a lot of cheese. So some of the cheese is floating, but the majority of it is gonna be at the bottom of the pan, especially when that milk starts getting hot. So you just want that to get mixed in real good. And we're gonna wait for that to come up to temperature. Okay, but while we're waiting for that, you can go ahead and add in, we got a tablespoon of garlic. So we'll pour that right in there. And again, that's just minced garlic you can buy in the store. We're going to go with our basil, throw that in there. And our oregano, we put that in there too. we know we have our heavy whipping cream seasoned. We have our cheese in there. As you can see, the cheese is melting. So all that good Parmesan cheese is melting. Now we want to add a little bit of margarine for flavor. I have 1/3 of a cup of margarine here. I'm also going to add. It's just going to melt, help enhance the flavor. I've always added it in, so it's just good. You can use butter as well, but I have margarine here at the house. That's what I'm going to use. And we're going to let all this melt together like it is now. Just continue to stir it. Now you can always, you know, do other things, do other parts of your meal while this is fixing, because this sauce can set, and it's pretty much going to make itself, but it's going to make you look good like you made it. It's going to make it seem like you really did a lot of work. But that's, you know, I'm making it simple for you. So like I said, it's going to melt. You just want to keep an eye on it. Don't have it on too high of a heat. Just keep it on low. That way it'll all melt together. Just check back with it. Don't let it get out of control. Now that we got our Alfredo going good, we're going to let that simmer and just keep an eye on it, because like I said, definitely we don't want that cheese to burn. We're going to go ahead and get our mushrooms started. We'll move back to our chicken station. I'm just going to flip the cutting board over to a clean side. The other side was where we did the chicken. I got a clean knife here, and I'll just show you exactly what I mean when I say how we're going to slice these mushrooms to saute them. Now these are portobello mushrooms, a little bit more expensive than your regular white mushrooms, but white mushrooms work the same. You'll get a lot more white mushrooms than you will get portobello mushrooms, basically, if you go to the store and buy them. But I'm just going to start with my knife like this and cut through it, thinly slicing the mushroom to give you some good slices. Now, one thing you can do when you go to the store, you can buy the mushrooms already sliced, but I like to do this kind of stuff, so I bought them like this so I can slice them myself, make them as big as I want, as thin as I want. So once we get them sliced, like so, and I'll do one more. You know, this is also a good alternative to chicken if you're having a meal for someone and they're a vegetarian. I don't know why anybody won't be a vegetarian. I think that's kind of stupid. So that's just me though. So we'll slice another mushroom up. And we're going to go ahead and move this over to the skillet. Now that we got all the mushrooms cut up, we're ready to saute them. I'm just going to use a little bit of olive oil, extra virgin olive oil to saute them. We'll pour that into a pan that I've already got warming up. We'll throw our mushrooms in there. Now it looks like a lot of mushrooms in the pan right now, which it is, but mushrooms when they cook are just going to constrict and not get smaller. And what I do is take a regular spatula, move these around a little bit, and just let them saute. Again, this is something simple. It's just gonna fix itself. Don't let the word saute scare you. It's not that difficult. Gonna put a little pepper to season them. We got a little salt in here. We're gonna season them with a little salt as well. And just to give them a little bit of a bite, we'll throw some red chili flakes in there as well. Only a few. We'll just mix those around a little bit. Such a fresh and good aroma. Now that we got our mushrooms going, we're going to move over. We're going to start going with our bread. Now we're going to do a croissant style of bread. I just brought the croissant dough at the store. You can just buy that. Now I am going to do a butter garlic dressing for the bread before I put them in the oven, and I'll show you that. You just want to use a little bit of garlic in the butter, and I'm just going to melt that in the microwave together. We'll just take a little bit of our garlic we didn't use for the sauce, put that in the microwave with some butter. Only take a second. So I just put that on, we'll say 30 seconds to get the butter melted. We got some croissant dough here that we just want to roll up. I always just start from this end, and some people start from the smaller end. I start from the larger end and just roll that over. They don't look like much now, but they're going to get quite a bit bigger than what they are. We're just going to roll those up. Those mushrooms sure do sound good over there, I know that.